is Long Island Ducks baseball.
Justin Davies at the plate, the winning run at third. Crowd going nuts. Swung on, bouncing ball left side, off the mitt, up third baseman Brad Strauss. Here comes Willie Rodriguez. Justin Davies has done it again. The Ducks are one strike away from the championship. Jason Johnson makes the catch. He makes the catch, and the Long Island Ducks have swept the Camden River Sharks. They are the 2004 Atlantic League champions. Line butt up the third baseline. Esquivel charging in. They're not going to have a play, and the Ducks are the champions of the Atlantic League here in 2012. Going back is Adam Bailey. He settles under it. He makes the catch. Adam Bailey makes the catch, and for a second straight year, the Atlantic League trophy will reside on Long Island. The Ducks are the Atlantic League champions.
And now it's time for the Long Island Ducks North Shore LIJ Southside Hospital pregame show.
A pleasant good evening and welcome to Bridgeport, Connecticut, where tonight the Bridgeport Bluefish play host to your Long Island Ducks in a Liberty Division matchup of the Atlantic League. Hello everybody, I am Mark Schwartz. Thank you so much for joining us here on this beautiful Tuesday evening here in South Central Connecticut. The Ducks enter tonight's ball game with an overall record of 7-8 on the season, while the Bridgeport Bluefish enter with a record of 9-7. The Ducks in third place in the Liberty Division. The Bluefish in second place in the Liberty Division. Both teams trailing the Somerset Patriots, who have gotten out to a very hot start to begin their 2014 campaign. They've won 5 straight and currently sit atop the Liberty Division standings with 11-5 mark. But these two teams, Bridgeport and Long Island, neck and neck right behind Somerset. And tonight, they play the first game against each other of the 2014 season. It's the first time they play against each other, the first time here in Bridgeport. And it's also the beginning of the 6th annual Ferry Cup series between these two sides, as the Cup has exchanged hands both ways throughout its entire inception. It began in 2009, where the Ducks took that first Ferry Cup series win, and then it exchanged hands every year to the other team leading up to this season. Last year it was the Ducks who won the Ferry Cup with a 12-8 season series win over the Bridgeport Bluefish, and the Ducks this season are looking to become the first team in the history of the Ferry Cup to win the Cup in consecutive seasons, and that all begins here tonight in Bridgeport when they take on the Bluefish for the first matchup of the 2014 season. But before we get into this series between these two teams, we'll start things off by looking back at the last series that the Ducks played. That was against the Lancaster Barnstormers, being played down in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It was actually the back leg of a 6-game extended home-and-home series between those two teams. Lancaster took the first 3 games over on Long Island against the Ducks, but the Ducks responded and turned the tide in the very first couple of innings of the series at Clipper Magazine Stadium in Lancaster, highlighted by a 7-run outburst in the first 2 innings Friday night against the Barnstormers. 5 runs came on the board for the Ducks in that first inning when the first 6 batters reached base, and then Joash Brodeen added a 2-run home run in the top half of the second inning to extend the Ducks' lead out to 7-0. But the Barnstormers would bounce back, chipping away a 3-run home run from Cole Garner in the 3rd inning, a 3-run home run from Blake Galen in the 5th inning. 2 more runs then in the bottom of the 8th inning against reliever Jeremy Accardo, and all of a sudden the Barnstormers were holding an 8-7 lead over the Ducks. But things would change once again at the top of the 9th inning. That's where all the theatrics began for Long Island, as with 1 out, Adam Bailey with a long solo home run down the right field line. That gave the Ducks an 8-7 lead. They added 2 more runs after closer Pete Andrelzik was removed from the game. In came Brody Downs, and Phelan Lentini with the bases loaded blooped a base hit into shallow right field. It was his 5th hit of the ball game. Gave the Ducks a 10-8 lead. They went on to win Friday night's ball game 10-8. Saturday, not as much theatrics were needed, as it was all Ducks from the onset of the ball game. They wound up shutting out the Barnstormers by a final score of 5-0. It was not only the first shutout thrown by the Ducks this season, it was also the first time that a very impressive Lancaster offense was held off the scoreboard as well. Sunday, on Mother's Day, was to a different story for the Barnstormers and the Ducks, as Lancaster responded from their 4-hit shutout by getting the offense started early on Sunday afternoon. They put up 7 runs in the first 2 innings against Ducks starter Matt Way, highlighted by a 2-run home run from Cole Garner in the first and a 3-run home run from Blake Galen in the second. It was the same story pretty much throughout the entire series. Cole Garner and Blake Galen, 2 of the hottest batters so far in the Atlantic League this season, certainly held up their end of the production against the Ducks in the last series. And after the 7-0 lead for the Barnstormers, they were pretty much able to coast throughout the rest of the game. Chris Schwinden was the starter for Lancaster, and he had himself quite the game. He went 7 innings, allowing just 1 run earned on 5 hits, no strikeouts, but only 1 walk. He certainly held the Ducks in check. The lone run for Long Island coming in Sunday afternoon's ball game was in the top of the 4th inning with 1 out. Joash Brodeen singled to left field, and then a couple of batters later, John Myers stepped to the plate, and Myers with an RBI base hit down the left field line provided the Ducks with their lone run of the ball game, and it was the first run batted in for John Myers in the 2014 season. He's in the starting lineup tonight for the Ducks. He's the designated hitter, but we'll get to the lineups for both teams a little bit later. To finish off Sunday afternoon's ball game, the Ducks were held in check offensively. Shunsuke Watanabe and Kyle Blair combined to finish off the Ducks, and Lancaster won the series finale by a final score of 8-1. So it was the Barnstormers taking 4 of 6 games in the extended 6-game home-and-home series. But now the Ducks return to Liberty Division action when they go up against their cross-sound rival tonight in the Bridgeport Bluefish. Our pitching matchup tonight, John Brownell, the 2013 Championship Series MVP for Long Island, will go up against a former Major Leaguer and certainly one of the most interesting stories in the Atlantic League this season, which is right-handed starter Tomo Oka. And Oka has experienced a resurgence through his first 2 games in a Bridgeport uniform, and we'll touch on him throughout the remainder of the broadcast. But right now we're going to take our first break of the broadcast. When we come back, I get an opportunity to sit down with Ducks DH and first baseman Ryan Strebe. He talks a little bit about his experiences last year, this season, and the opportunity of going up against a knuckleballer tonight, as you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hi, this is manager Kevin Baez, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
North Shore LIJ Southside Hospital in Bayshore is the healthcare heart of our community. We provide outstanding healthcare right here at home with centers of excellence in cardiology, orthopedics, neurosciences, women's health services, and much more. Experience counts, and North Shore LIJ Southside Hospital has been around for nearly a century of care. For more information, please call 631-968-3000 or visit us on the web at www.nslij.com.
Hey Ducks fans, your recreation destination this year is The Rinks at Hidden Pond Park. The Rinks features 2 full-size ice rinks, a 97-acre summer day camp, a New York State licensed preschool academy, and a wide variety of birthday party options. Learn to skate, join one of many hockey leagues, swim in an Olympic-sized pool, and enjoy all the fun that The Rinks has to offer. Visit us today at 660 Terry Road in Hauppauge, or check us out online at therinks.com. The Rinks, your recreation destination.
And welcome back to Bridgeport, Connecticut, here at the ballpark at Harbor Yard. Mark Schwartz on the call on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball. Well, before we get going with today's ball game, I got an opportunity to sit down with Ryan Strebe, one of the more prominent offensive players on this Ducks team, talk a little bit about his experiences so far this season with the Ducks and the potentials of going up against a knuckleball pitcher.
All right, Ryan, second year with the Ducks, off to a pretty good start so far. What do you take out of the season so far?
It's still early, but, I think as a team, we're, coming together and we're playing some good ball, and, I think the forecast for the season's looking good.
Got off to a real hot start, cooled off a little bit as of late. What do you feel that you need to do specifically to maybe turn things around?
Just show up every day and, try to get better, and, that's what it's all about. Just come to the yard every day. Every day's a new day, and, having quality at-bats and, helping the team win.
Earlier last week, you guys got swept at home by Lancaster. Bounced back nicely, though, with a couple of wins at their ballpark. Do you feel like you could ride any of that momentum from winning that series into maybe this series against Bridgeport?
Yeah, I mean, we had a little off day there. I think, you know, anytime you play well, you want to, you know, try to build on that. So, you know, I think, you know, we played some good ball there. After they took 3 at our place, we, you know, were able to take 2 at their place, and, you know, I think we can definitely build on that.
So this season, last year, you played with Lou Ford as a player. This year, he's the hitting coach.
Right.
What kind of difference has that made, maybe in your game specifically?
You know, Lou's kind of a guy, you know, he's there for, you know, if you need him, but he's not one of those hitting coaches that's too, you know, gets too deep in talking hitting. He kind of just lets you do your thing, and then, but it's nice to have someone there you can bounce stuff off, and, you know, that's kind of paying a little bit closer attention to you, you know, whereas last year you really didn't have that. You kind of just talked to different guys, but, you know, he's obviously, you know, been around the game for a long time, so it's nice to have someone like that with his knowledge.
Cool, and I know tonight you're not in the starting lineup, but the Ducks are going up against Tomohoko, former major leaguer. He's been off the last couple of years trying to reinvent himself as a knuckleball pitcher this year. From your experience, have you ever gone up against a knuckleballer before?
Actually, yeah. I mean, we faced him the first spring training game.
Oh, that's right.
We had here. So, you know, I've probably faced maybe a handful of knuckleball pitchers, and, you know, I don't know. It's kind of a tricky deal. You know, you don't face that many, so you really don't, you know, practice it too much or have an approach for it. And it's kind of one of those things, if you do practice hitting one too much, you know, you might, you know, get yourself in a little funk. So, you know, I think with them, you kind of just want to see the ball up and, you know, try to put a good swing on it. And, you know, that's pretty much all I know about them.
Yeah, well, the old adage usually goes with knuckleballers, if it's high, let it fly. Right. If it's low, let it go. Do you feel like that's pretty accurate?
I would agree with that, definitely. 100%.
Yeah. So now when we look over the course of the entire season, you guys won the championship last year, so obviously a championship is always the ultimate goal. But for you specifically, do you have any personal milestones or goals that you've set for this season?
You know, health has been an issue with me, so, you know, I just want to, you know, be available to play every day and, you know, get through the season and, you know, obviously do the best I can. I don't really, you know, get into putting up, you know, certain specific numbers, but obviously I want to come here, help the team win, and win a championship. You know, if I happen to, you know, do really well and get picked up and go somewhere else, great. If not, you know, I'll enjoy my time here.
All right, thanks, Ryan, so much. Good luck tonight and for the rest of the series.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
That was Ryan Strebe on the pregame show. We'll take our final break. When we come back, first pitch between the Bridgeport Bluefish and the Long Island Ducks on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hi, this is Bud Harrelson, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
North Shore LIJ, Southside Hospital in Bayshore, is the healthcare heart of our community. We provide outstanding healthcare right here at home, with centers of excellence in cardiology, orthopedics, neurosciences, women's health services, and much more. Experience counts, and North Shore LIJ Southside Hospital has been around for nearly a century of care. For more information, please call 631-968-3000 or visit us on the web at www.nslij.com.
Life without Ducks Baseball.
Emily, quit texting. James, get off the iPad. Honey, pick a channel.
Life with Ducks Baseball. Bethpage Ballpark is set. Quackerjack is ready, and the flock is prepared to defend their title. All we need is you. For game times, promos, and tickets, visit liducks.com.
It's a blast. Now that's more like it.
Long Island Ducks Baseball. Life is better here.
And welcome back to Bridgeport, Connecticut, as we are about set for first pitch between the Long Island Ducks and the Bridgeport Bluefish. Mark Schwartz here on the call on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball. Phelan Lentini will lead things off against Tomohoko here. And the first pitch is a knuckleball that drops in for a called strike. And the count now moves to 0-1. The starting lineup for the Ducks tonight, Phelan Lentini leads things off, followed by Chris McClendon and Lou Ford due up here in the first inning, as another knuckleball floats in inside for a ball 1-1. Joash Brodeen batting fourth for Long Island. He'll be followed up by Adam Bailey batting fifth. Cody Puckett batting sixth. The knuckleball misses outside from Oka. And the count now 2-1. Batting 7th is John Myers. Batting 8th, Brian Peacock. And rounding up the order for Long Island today, batting 9th and playing at shortstop is Dan Lyons. Fastball from Oka misses low and inside to Lentini, and he quickly falls behind in the count. 3 balls and 1 strike. Oka on the rubber, trying to reinvent himself as a knuckleballer here in American baseball as Lentini lifts one to shallow right field. Going back is the second baseman Castro, and in foul territory he's able to make the catch for the first out here in tonight's ball game. So 1 away, and that'll bring up Chris McClendon, the defensive alignment for Bridgeport in today's ball game. Going from left to right in the outfield, Brandon Boggs. In center field, James Simmons. And in right field, Prentice Redmond. At third base, it's Sean Burrows. At shortstop, Juan Martinez. Second base is Ramon Castro. At first base, Cody Overbeck. Behind home plate, Luis Rodriguez. And once again on the mound for the Bluefish, making his 3rd start of the season, is the righty former big leaguer Tomaoka, as the fastball to McClendon knee-high for a called strike 0-1. Our umpires tonight, behind home plate, Joseph DiCrescenzo. At first base, it's Richard Katz, as the knuckleball misses outside, 1-1. And at third base tonight, it's John Grasso. Oka from the stretch with nobody on base. The 1-1 misses outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. With that knuckleball, Oka not even going for a full windup. Instead, he's working primarily out of the stretch, despite there being no runners currently on base. Comes set, the 2-1 to the left-handed hitting McClendon is grounded to the right side, fielded by the first baseman Overbeck, and he takes it himself to the bag for the second out. So quickly 2 away here in the top of the first inning. You could hear in the distance the train running through the outfield here at the ballpark at Harbor Yard. There is an Amtrak/Metro North train station that's about 200 or so yards beyond the center field fence. So the train tracks go directly through the outfield, not, of course, on the field, obviously, but in the distance, in the background of the ballpark. So similar to planes that you'll hear flying overhead at Citi Field during ball games for the Mets, here at the ballpark at Harbor Yard, you'll hear the train in the far distance, picked up by our fantastic boom microphone, as the first pitch knuckleball to Lou Ford drops in for a called strike at the knees in the count 0-1. Oka has been a revelation for the Bluefish so far in his first 2 starts of the season, as the knuckleball lifted left field deep. Ranging back is Boggs. Warning track, he has space, takes a couple of strides in, makes the catch, and the inning comes to a close. So a quick 1-2-3 inning for Tomaoka, using primarily his knuckleball, and that'll be the story all night long here in Bridgeport. So after the top of the first inning, no score between the Ducks and the Bluefish here on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hi, this is pitcher John Brownell, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Beautify your patio, walkway, driveway, or pool surround with Nicoloc paving stones and walls. Nicoloc's specially formulated paver shield offers extra surface wear protection and color enhancement throughout the thickness of the paver. Paver shield guarantees that your pavers will look great for years to come. Bring home the elegance with Nicoloc. Visit the Nicoloc Design Center, Sunrise Highway, Lindenhurst, or Nicoloc.com.
Let Nicoloc pavers, Nicoloc pavers, pave your way.
Baseball fans, the Long Island Ducks mobile app has officially arrived. Powered by Clear Vision Apps, it's your one-stop shop for all things Ducks baseball. Buy tickets straight from your mobile device. Receive game status updates with push notifications. Check out up-to-the-minute news and scores and interact with the Ducks on social media. Best of all, it's free. Download the Ducks mobile app today by visiting the App Store on your Apple-powered device or Google Play on your Android-powered device. The Long Island Ducks mobile app, with you wherever you flock to.
Bottom of the first inning here at the ballpark at Harbor Yard in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Mark Schwartz on the call on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball. John Brownell on the mound for the Ducks. He'll be making his 4th start of the season for Long Island. Before we get into him, we'll set the lineup for the Bluefish. James Simmons leads things off for Bridgeport, followed up by former Major Leaguer Sean Burrows, batting second. And once again by a former Major Leaguer batting third, Brandon Boggs. Prentice Redmond, the one-time former Met, bats cleanup for the Bluefish. And then batting fifth, Ramon Castro. Batting sixth, Luis Lopez, who's been a historic player here with Bridgeport. Batting seventh is Cody Overbeck. Batting eighth is Luis Rodriguez. And rounding up the order for the Bluefish tonight is Juan Martinez. And they'll go up against John Brownell, the 6'3", 215-pound right-handed starter from Norman, Oklahoma, making his fourth start of the season for Long Island. So far in the 2014 campaign, he's 0-2 with a 5.50 earned run average in 3 starts. He's worked 18 innings, allowed 19 hits, 14 strikeouts compared to just 2 walks. First pitch to James Simmons, the fastball misses outside, 1 ball and no strikes. The Ducks today rocking their road gray jerseys with the orange, black, and green numbers and lettering. The 1-0 to Simmons. Fastball taken upstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. A gray pants for the Ducks as well. Black socks and a black hat with a black brim. The Bluefish in their alternate home jerseys. It's a blue top with about a teal and white siding. The 2-0 to Simmons misses low. 3 balls and no strikes now to the leadoff batter, Jane Simmons. In teal lettering across the chest of the Bluefish jerseys says the word fish. And then a teal number on the back, wearing white socks, white pants, I should say, as the fastball is in there for a called strike 3-1. White pants with a full blue hat featuring a blue brim. The 3-1 pitch to Simmons. Grounded to third base off the heel of the glove for Chris McClendon in fair territory. And arriving safely at first base is James Simmons. We'll see what that's ruled. It was a sharply hit ground ball. And it'll be an E5 awarded to Chris McClendon. A tough play because it was hit so sharply, but it went right through the wickets. McClendon was able to get a piece of his glove on the ball, but not able to corral it cleanly. So the first batter of the ball game for Bridgeport reaches on an E5. Simmons will lead off of first base, and Sean Burrows will be the batter for the Bluefish. Burrows, the former Major Leaguer, left-handed batter. A .295 hitter this season, no home runs, and 6 runs batted in. Simmons leads off of first base, being held on by Joe Ashbrodeen. Burrows fakes the bunt, takes the ball inside for ball 1. The defensive alignment for the Ducks here in the bottom of the first inning: Adam Bailey in left field, Luke forward in center, Phelan Lentini in right. At third base, it's Chris McClendon, shortstop Dan Lyons, second base Cody Puckett, at first base Joe Ashbrodeen, and catching tonight for Long Island is Brian Peacock. The 1-0 to Burrows, grounded foul down the first baseline, 1 ball and 1 strike. Burrows, now in his 13th season of professional baseball, was drafted 9th overall by the San Diego Padres back in the 1998 draft from Woodrow Wilson High School in Long Beach, California. Brownell will throw over to first, and James Simmons goes back in standing safely. Simmons this season has stolen 2 bases to tie himself among the team leaders for the Bluefish. Bridgeport as a team has stolen 9. The 1-1. Lifted, right center field and deep. Going back is Lentini, and this is going to drop for an extra base hit, splitting the gap in right center. Simmons being waved around third. Up with the throw is Lentini. Gets cut off by Cody Puckett. No throw home, however, as the Bluefish take an early 1-0 lead, an RBI double for Sean Burrows, his 7th run batted in of the season. And 2 batters into the ball game for the Bluefish. They have an early 1-0 lead. Burrows bluffed a bunt on the first pitch that he took from Brownell, taking all the way. A couple of pitches later, swinging all the way, and he rips a double into right center field, rolls all the way to the wall, and the Bluefish have grabbed an early 1-0 lead. The dimensions here at Ballpark at Harbor Yard, it's a symmetrical ballpark, 325 down the lines, 405 to straightaway center field. First pitch now to Brandon Boggs, misses inside. And advancing to third base on the wild pitch is Sean Burrows. Got away from Brian Peacock, and Burrows was easily able to advance to third. So nobody out and a runner at third base. Bridgeport already leading the Ducks 1-0. Left-handed hitting Brandon Boggs at the plate, a .333 batter this season, 1 home run and 6 runs batted in. The 1-0 to Boggs, in there for a called strike, 1-1. Brownell painting the inside part of the plate there. First and second base unoccupied. Bridgeport threatening to put up 2 here in the bottom of the first, already leading at 1-0. The 1-1 to Boggs is tapped softly foul down the first base line, and Brownell is ahead in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Boggs played 4 seasons in the major leagues. Spent 3 years with the Texas Rangers, 1 year with the Milwaukee Brewers. Was in the big leagues from 2008 through 2011. Fastball taken upstairs by Boggs, and the count runs even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The sun setting here in Bridgeport, Connecticut, down the left field line, hidden by the suite level down the third base line. As Boggs checks his swing, he goes around on a curveball in the dirt. First strikeout of the ball game for John Brownell. 1 away here in the bottom of the first inning, and Prentice Redmond will step to the plate. A big strikeout there for John Brownell as Sean Burrows leads off of third base now with 1 away. Already a run on the board for the Bluefish, and Prentice Redmond will step in. Right-handed batter, 197 hitter this season, is yet to go deep with 4 runs batted in. He's being depended on as a cleanup batter for Bridgeport, but his average just hasn't been where he would like it so far this season. First pitch to Redmond, grounded foul down the third base line, 0-1. The Ducks will bring the infield in already here with 1 away in the bottom of the first inning to try to stop the bleeding. James Simmons led off the inning reaching on an E5. He came around to score 1 batter later on a Sean Burrows RBI double. That run is unearned, charged against John Brownell. The 0-1. Fastball misses upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike. Brownell coming off of consecutive losses in his last 2 starts, looking to turn things around tonight in a road game against the Bluefish. The 1-1. Lined into center field. This should be deep enough to get a run home. Over his Lou Ford, he makes the catch. Tagging from third is Burrows. The throw will come home, and it'll be a little late as Burrows scores, and the Bluefish are on top now 2-0. A sacrifice fly for Prentice Redmond, his 5th run batted in of the season. 2 runs on the board for the Bluefish in the early goings here. Both of them will be unearned, charged against John Brownell. And Ramon Castro will step to the plate. That run unearned because if Chris McClendon had made the play at first base to begin the inning, that would have been the second out, and there would have been no sacrifice fly as the first pitch fastball called for a strike against Ramon Castro at the knees. No balls and 1 strike. This Ramon Castro not to be confused with the former Duck Ramon Castro. The 0-1. Fastball misses outside, 1-1. That former Duck Ramon Castro, also a former major leaguer. This Ramon Castro is also a former major leaguer. Spent a lot of time with the Oakland Athletics. As the changeup drops in for a called strike, and the count now moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. It is now his 17th season of professional baseball. Spent last year playing with Team Rimini in the Italy League. Swings and misses here at the curveball in the dirt. Second strikeout of the ball game for John Brownell. And the first inning comes to a close, but 2 runs on the board for the Bluefish, both unearned. 2 runs on 1 hit, 1 error, and nobody left on base. As we move to the top of the second inning, Bridgeport on top, 2-0 on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hi, this is shortstop Dan Lyons. You can follow me on Twitter @TheDannyLyons, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Few places on Earth offer the charm and excitement of Fire Island. At Fire Island Ferries, located conveniently at 99 Maple Avenue in Bay Shore, they offer convenient travel to Fire Island 7 days a week. Fire Island is quickly becoming a top destination for families of all ages. Experience the informal, carefree communities, the dazzling night scene, enjoy fine dining, or climb to the top of one of the tallest lighthouses in the United States. But there's only one way to get there, by calling Fire Island Ferries at 631-665-3600 today. For fare and scheduling information, please visit fireislandferries.com.
Take your group out to the ball game this season and enjoy all the fun of Ducks baseball at discounted prices with the Hebrew National Picnic Area, luxury suites, the Smokin' Owls party deck, and so much more. Bringing your group to the game will be an unforgettable experience. The Ducks even offer opportunities to sing the national anthem, serve as a color guard, be the Nicolak Dream Team, put on a pregame performance, display your group's artwork, or shag fly balls during Ducks batting practice. To book your outing today, call 631-940-3825 and ask for the group sales department. Long Island Ducks baseball. Life is better here.
Top of the second inning in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Mark Schwartz here on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball. It'll be the 4, 5, 6 batters due up for Long Island here. Joash Brodin followed by Adam Bailey and Cody Puckett as they work against Tomo Oka in his second inning of the ballgame. Worked a quick and efficient 1-2-3 top of the first, sporting primarily his new knuckleball, which has highlighted his story in the Atlantic League so far this season. First pitch knuckleball to Brodin, drops it for a strike on the outside corner, and the count moves to no balls and 1 strike. Brodin, a 169 batter this season, 2 home runs and 8 runs batted in. Grounds one up the middle, shifting over and not able to make the play is the second baseman Ramon Castro, and it slides into center field for the Ducks' first hit of the ballgame. Wasn't hit well by Brodin, but he was able to place it perfectly along the infield, as both Ramon Castro and the shortstop Juan Martinez weren't able to make the play. So the Ducks have a leadoff base runner here in the top of the second inning, and Adam Bailey will step to the plate.
Left fielder number 13, Adam Bailey.
Bailey, a left-handed batter to work against the right-handed throwing Tomaoka, who will remain in the stretch, with Joash Brodin at first base being held on by Cody Overbeck. First pitch to Bailey, fastball outside corner for a called strike, 0-1. Bailey's a 176 batter this season, 4 home runs to lead the Ducks, and 10 runs batted in, third most RBI on the Ducks. As Oka will throw over to first base, and backstanding safely is Brodin. Didn't get a chance at the beginning of the ballgame to go over Oka's numbers. He's made 2 starts this season. His first start against Sugar Land, he went 4 innings, in which he earned a win. As the 0-1 to Bailey grounded through the hole on the right side of the infield, and into right field for a base hit. Brodin trying to go first to third. He's cut midway between second base and third base. Now he'll advance over, and the throw is not in time. Brodin slides in safe at third base, going first to third, and what seemed like an adventure for Brodin. But the Ducks have runners on the corners and nobody out here in the top of the second inning. It was a softly hit ground ball by Adam Bailey that got through on the right side. And the grass here in Bridgeport is cut pretty thick, so that ground ball just died in right field, and Brodin went about halfway between the second base and third base bags, and then decided to look back at right field for whatever reason, and he was caught in between, but luckily for him, the right fielder Prentice Redmond double clutched on his throw because he didn't know where Brodin was going. So his throw was caught off by the second baseman Castro, and then when they threw it onto third, it wasn't in time to get out Brodin. As Cody Puckett steps in, and the first pitch knuckleball misses inside, 1 ball and no strikes. So a pair of ground ball singles for the Ducks here in the top of the second inning have gotten things in motion. The 1-0 to Puckett is fouled off over the screen and over the sweet level out of play. And the count now moves to 1 ball and 1 strike. So Oka won his first start of the season. Went 4 innings, allowing 1 run on 3 hits, 5 walks, and 1 strikeout, trying to work out some of the kinks of his knuckleball with those 5 walks in the start against Sugar Land. As going back to first base is Adam Bailey on the throw over. But his last start against York was really quite the start for Oka. Really put an exclamation point on his return to the Atlantic League. As the 1-1 to Puckett is grounded through the hole on the left side and into left field for a base hit. Joash Brodin will score from third, an RBI single by Cody Puckett, his 6th run batted in of the season. And the Ducks are on the scoreboard here in the top of the second inning. They trail now 2-1. That ground ball from Puckett, a little more sharply hit than the ground ball singles from Brodin and Bailey, but nonetheless, it works out just fine for the Ducks, as Sean Burrows was not able to make the diving stop at third base. He was playing close to the bag to hold on Brodin. So the Ducks with a run on the board here in the top of the second inning. The score now 2-1. Still nobody out Runners at first and second for John Myers. First pitch swing, breaks his bat, rolls it over to short. On to second base for one. The turn to first is not in time. Myers beats out the potential double play. He loses the bat in the process, and out at second base is Cody Puckett. So Myers reaches on what will be ruled a fielder's choice, 6-4. That's how Puckett is retired. Advancing over to third base is Adam Bailey on the play. So the Ducks will have runners on the corners and one out for their number 8 batter, Brian Peacock. Well, Myers was up there first pitch swinging, and he lost a solid piece of that bat. It looked as though for a second that the entire bat went flying down the third base line, but instead it was just the majority of the barrel, as Myers held on to the stick part, the handle part of the bat, but the barrel went flying down the third base line. Juan Martinez was able to avoid it and make the play, get the force out at second base, but the ground ball was hit too softly for the Bluefish to turn 2. So runners on the corners and one out. Brian Peacock, the batter, to work against Tomo Oka. First pitch knuckleball drops in for a strike over the heart of the plate, 0-1. Peacock, a .296 batter this season, has yet to record a run batted in, but has a prime opportunity here to tie up the ball game for Long Island. The 0-1. Knuckleball misses upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike. Oka's last start, as I kept on getting derailed, his last start came against the York Revolution back on May 6th. He worked a complete game shutout, allowing just 3 hits in that start, no walks, and 5 strikeouts. Only needed to face 3 batters over the minimum in that ball game to record the complete game 3-hit shutout. The 1-1 to Peacock is popped up foul territory behind home plate. Rodriguez throws his mask off and makes the catch. 2 outs now in the top of the second inning, and certainly not what Brian Peacock was looking to do there. So 2 away, runners remain on the corners for Long Island, and the number 9 batter, Dan Lyons, will step in. Lyons, a .250 hitter this season, no home runs and 6 runs batted in, but a missed opportunity there for Brian Peacock to get his first run batted in of the season. So Bailey will lead off of third, Myers off of first, Lyons at the plate, Oka trying to work through this inning. The earned run that he's already allowed here in the top of the second, only the second earned run that he's allowed all season long. First pitch to Lyons is a knuckleball, drops in for a strike, 0-1. So overall, Oka's numbers this season in his 2 starts, he's 2-0 with a 0.69 earned run average. That ERA leads the Atlantic League. The 0-1 to Lyons, another knuckleball. This one misses inside and a little low. And the count moves to 2 balls and 1 strike. He's tossed 13 innings so far, Oka. He's allowed just 6 hits while walking 5 and 6 strikeouts. The Ducks was 3 hits here in the top of the second inning, all on ground balls that got through the infield, as Lyons chops one foul down the third base line. And the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lyons starting at shortstop tonight for Long Island. Had a great Saturday evening down in Lancaster this past weekend. That evening he went 3 for 4, including all 3 hits being extra base hits, nearly hitting his first home run of the season. As Oka will throw over to first base, and back standing safely is John Myers. Lyons did go 0 for 4 on Sunday, on Mother's Day, against the Barnstormers, but overall went 3 for 8 in that 3-game series at Clipper Magazine Stadium. Takes the fastball high and inside, and the count runs even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. That 3 for 8 included 2 doubles, a triple, and 2 RBI. That came in the Ducks' 5-0 win on Saturday. The 2-2 to Lyons, fouled off down the first base line out of play. Count stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes. It came on a 2-out, 2-run double down the left field line in the 4th inning of that ball game, which gave the Ducks their first lead of the ball game, which they were able to hold on throughout the entirety of that game. They won 5-0. Once again, runners on the corners, 2 outs. Taking off from first is Myers. The knuckleball's high. The throw down to second. Not in time, and it skips underneath the glove of Castro. Rolls into center field, and into score from third base is Adam Bailey. It'll be an E2 charged against Luis Rodriguez, the catcher for Bridgeport. He tried to throw out John Myers, stealing second base. The throw was low, skipped under the glove of Castro, rolled into center field, and the Ducks have tied up this ball game at 2 apiece. Second error of this ball game. First for Bridgeport. It's an E2 in your scorebooks if you're keeping track at home. And the Ducks will certainly take it as they've tied up this game against Tomooka. 2 apiece. Still 2 outs in the top of the second inning. Advancing to third on the play was John Myers also. The 2-2 to Lions misses upstairs. It was actually a 3-2 to Lions that missed upstairs, so he draws the walk. It's the first walk allowed by Tomooka in his last 2 starts. And now the Ducks will have runners on the corners and 2 away here as Phelan Lentini will step in. The Ducks turn the lineup back to the top. And fans, that's another Municipal Credit Union walk with a purpose. Every time a Ducks batter walks, the Quackerjack Foundation wins. So 2 outs and 2 runners on for Phelan Lentini here in the top of the second inning. First pitch knuckleball drops in for a called strike, 0-1. Lentini flew out to the second baseman Castro his first time up in shallow right field. The 0-1, another knuckleball, and this one misses inside. And the count 1-1. Leading off at third base is John Myers. He'll get the stolen base on that other play and then advancing over to third on the E2 as the Lions leads off at first. The 1-1 to Lentini, fastball misses low. 2 balls and 1 strike now. And for Myers with that stolen base, it's his first of the season for Long Island, first in the Atlantic League. The 2-1 to Lentini misses inside. And the count now moves to 3 balls and 1 strike. A hitter's count here for Lentini. We'll see if Oka, with 2 runners on, tries to break off a knuckleball in this situation. See if he has the confidence in that knuckleball to drop in the strike zone. Or if Lentini tries to sit dead red fastball here. Myers off of third, Lyons off of first. Fastball, lifted, left field, deep, ranging back his Boggs. Right in front of the warning track, however, he'll slow down, make the catch, and the inning comes to a close. But the Ducks respond to the Bridgeport 2-run bottom of the first with 2 more runs of their own here in the top of the second inning. 2 runs on 3 hits with 1 error and 2 runners left on. We move to the bottom of the second inning, all tied up at 2 here on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hey fans, this is pitcher Bobby Blevins, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
It's your money, and you have the power to save it. Make a few simple changes, and you can use less electricity and save real money. By installing Energy Star light bulbs and products for your home, you can save hundreds of dollars each year. At PSEG Long Island, we're working hard to serve you in the way you deserve. Check out our energy-saving tips and tools at pseglyny.com/savemoney.
James Simmons is going back. He is looking up, and on Bark in the Park Night, that one is gone and reaches a kennel in Central Islip. That was another home run for the Ducks. And Duck fans, what's more fun than a home run that helps the Ducks win a game? How about a homer that helps the community win? Chappie's Funeral Home and the Long Island Ducks have once again teamed up for the Chappie's Home Run Challenge. If the Ducks hit 100 homers this season, Chappie's Funeral Home will donate $5,000 to the Quackerjack Foundation. So every time a Ducks hitter goes deep this season, watch for the Chappie's Challenge home run count on the scoreboard. And if we reach 100, we're all a winner. Chappie's Funeral Home, where caring for others is a family tradition.
Bottom of the second inning from Bridgeport. Mark Schwartz here on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball. 2-2 is the score between the Ducks and the Bluefish in the first meeting between these cross-sound rivals in the 2014 campaign. John Brownell back on the mound for his second inning of work for Long Island. First pitch fastball on the outside corner for a strike as Luis Lopez steps in, the designated hitter for Bridgeport tonight. It'll be the 6, 7, 8 batters due up for the Bluefish. Lopez followed by Overbeck and Luis Rodriguez as the fastball misses outside to Lopez and the count runs even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Lopez, a .264 batter this season, 1 home run and 9 runs batted in. The 1-1. Grounded up the middle, shaded over was Cody Puckett. He drops it initially and he can't handle the rebound. Safe at first base is Luis Lopez. It's the second error of the ball game for Long Island and the second consecutive inning that an error has led off the inning. It'll be an E4 charge against Cody Puckett. And Cody Overbeck will come to the plate with a runner at first base and nobody out. It was a routine chopper for Cody Puckett. He charged in a little bit at second base, tried to field it near the second base bag towards the edge of the infield grass. And it looked like he might have taken his eye off the ball for a second to see how fast Lopez was running down the first base line, because he just flat out missed it. It hit off his glove, he bobbled it, he tried to pick it up with his bare hand on the one hop, rebound, and wasn't able to corral the ball to D4, and the Bluefish have the leadoff runner on for the second consecutive inning, as Overbeck, first pitch swinging, fouls it off the mask of Brian Peacock, and the count moves to no balls and one strike. Well, the Bluefish began the bottom of the first inning with James Simmons reaching on an error by Chris McClendon, the third baseman for Long Island. He then came around to score when the next batter, Sean Burrows, lined an RBI double into the right field gap. 0-1 here to Overbeck on the outside corner for a strike, and the count moves to no balls and two strikes. Bridgeport then scored their second run of the inning on a sacrifice fly by Prentice Redmond a couple of batters later. The 0-2 here to Overbeck as the fastball misses upstairs, 1-2. So Lopez leads off of first base. He's being held on by Joe Ash Brodeen. Again, this is a Bridgeport team that has not stolen a lot of bases this season, just 9 overall. Two more than Long Island, who really hasn't stolen that many bases. The 1-2 misses upstairs from Brownell, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Ducks have only stolen 7 bases so far this season, 3 of which have come from Phelan Lentini. Lopez leading off of first base for the Bluefish has not stolen a base yet this season. It's the 2-2. Drilled deep left field, ranging back is Bailey. Warning track at the wall, looking up, and it's gone. A 2-run home run by Cody Overbeck, his 3rd home run of the season. And for the second consecutive inning, the Bluefish are able to capitalize after a Long Island error. They put up 2 runs on that 2-run blast, and they lead it over the Ducks 4-2. Well, that was a no-doubter from Cody Overbeck. He turned on a fastball that was left right over the heart of the plate from John Brownell, and it got caught up in the netting that is well beyond the secondary fence in straightaway left field. First pitch swinging is Luis Rodriguez, and he swings through a high fastball, 0-1. Well, here at the ballpark at Harbor Yard, the initial fence is a brick fence. That's your standard height. Rodriguez fouls off the fastball, and the count moves to 0-2. After that initial fence, there's a secondary fence for advertisements. The initial fence is just brick. There's no advertisements at all except for where the scoreboard is situated in right center field. The 0-2 to Rodriguez. Check swing, fastball on the dirt. Did he go around? No, says Richard Katz at first base, so they count 1-2. So the secondary fence has all the advertisements, and that extends about, I'd say, another 12 feet on top of the initial fence. And then after that, there's a netting just located in straightaway left field. So the 1-2 to Rodriguez is a curveball taken in the dirt, 2-2. That netting is there to protect any patrons that are trying to enter the Webster Bank Arena, which is located beyond the left field fence here in Bridgeport. That arena, home of the Bridgeport Sound Tigers, the AHL affiliate of the New York Islanders. Fastball outside corner, strike 3 called. John Brownell with his 3rd strikeout of the ballgame, the first of the looking variety. 1 away here in the bottom of the second inning, and Juan Martinez will step in. So Brownell with 3 strikeouts, but has already given up 4 runs, 3 of which are unearned. Both runs in the first inning were unearned charge against Brownell, and here in the second, 1 of them unearned, as the curveball to Martinez on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Martinez, right-handed batter, .217 hitter this year, 1 home run and 9 runs batted in. Fastball misses inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. But anyway, to go back to that Overbeck home run, that ball hit pretty much the top of the netting in straightaway left field. Fastball misses inside to Martinez, 2-1. I'd say that ball had a chance to go at least 400 feet. A no-doubter from Cody Overbeck. He now has 3 home runs on the season to lead the Bluefish. Martinez grounds one up the middle. Lyons makes the play at short, fields it cleanly, throws to first in time, 2 away. Nice play by Dan Lyons, ranging to his right, able to make the play. So 2 outs, and we move back to the top of the order for the Bluefish. James Simmons will be the batter. Simmons reached on an E5 his first time up. It was a sharply hit ground ball that went right to Chris McClendon at third base. He was positioned perfectly. He just wasn't able to field it cleanly. The ball went right in between his legs, hit off a part of his glove, and rolled into foul territory down the third base line. First pitch here to Simmons. Changeup misses low, 1-0. After Simmons reached on the E5, Sean Burrows brought him home with an RBI double. Similar to what has gone on here in the bottom of the second inning, as Simmons once again chops one to third. This time it's an easier play for McClendon. He fields it cleanly, fires across the diamond in time, and the side is retired. But 2 more runs come on the board for the Bluefish. One of them earned, one of them unearned, on a 2-run shot by Cody Overbeck at the end of 2 innings. The Bluefish leading it over the Ducks by a score of 4-2 on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hey fans, this is outfielder and hitting coach Lou Ford, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hey Ducks fans, your recreation destination this year is The Rinks at Hidden Pond Park. The Rinks features 2 full-size ice rinks, a 97-acre summer day camp, a New York State licensed preschool academy, and a wide variety of birthday party options. Learn to skate, join one of many hockey leagues, swim in an Olympic-sized pool, and enjoy all the fun that The Rinks has to offer. Visit us today at 660 Terry Road in Hauppauge, or check us out online at therinks.com. The Rinks, your recreation destination.
Can't get enough of the Long Island Ducks? Well, now you can get even more inside info on your favorite hometown team through Facebook and Twitter. The Ducks are constantly updating fans through social media with scores, transactions, ballpark promotions, and much more. You can even win great prizes. All you'll need to do is make a free account on Facebook and Twitter, and then visit us at facebook.com/LIDucks and twitter.com/LIDucks. Think you're Long Island's biggest Ducks fan? Get connected now.
Top of the third inning from Bridgeport. Mark Schwartz here on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball. 4-2 is the score in favor of the Bluefish for the Ducks here in the top of the third. It'll be Chris McClendon leading things off, followed by Lou Ford and Joash Brodeen.
Third baseman with 5, Chris McClendon.
McClendon will lead things off. He grounded out to first base unassisted his first time up back in the first inning, dropping his average. Well, his average entering tonight's ball game stood at 163. And he'll work against Tomo Oka back on the mound for his third inning of work. Has really been sporting that knuckleball so far that I've heard so much about. First pitch knuckleball to McClendon, misses outside for a ball, 1-0. Another train passes along the outfield as the 1-0 to McClendon on the inside corner for a strike. And the count moves to 1-1 strike. 4 runs on 2 hits and 1 error for Bridgeport. 2 runs on 3 hits and 2 errors for the Ducks. McClendon grounds one up the middle, but shaded towards the second base bag was Martinez. He fields it cleanly and throws out McClendon at first for out number 1. Well, unfortunately there for McClendon, he grounded the ball right back up the middle, and normally that would be a base hit. But for whatever reason, Martinez was shaded towards the second base bag against the left-handed hitting McClendon, and it worked out in Martinez's favor as he was able to field that ball almost directly behind the second base bag. So 1 out for Lou Ford, who flew out to fairly deep left field his first time up. First pitch from Oka, knuckleball, drops in for a called strike, and the count now 0-1. Another knuckleball to Ford, grounded down the third baseline foul, 0-2. Oka, a 38-year-old, trying to resurrect his career, starting off in the Atlantic League, featuring a knuckleball. Spent 6 seasons spread out across the Japan Central League. The 0-2 to Ford is grounded to second base directly at Ramon Castro. Bobbled it initially, but he kept the ball in front of him and then throws out Ford at first. 2 outs now here in the top of the third inning, and that'll bring up Joash Brodeen, who singled and scored a run back in the second. Oka began playing in the Japan Central League in 1994, where he appeared in 15 games, only 2 as a starter. Played there through 96, 1 season in 98, and then 2 seasons in 2010 and 2011. That was the last time that he appeared in a baseball game, was back in 2011 in the Japan Central League. Before this year in the Atlantic League, as the fastball misses upstairs to Joash Brodin, 1-0. Oka, though, experienced a pretty successful major league career as the knuckleball on the outside corner for a strike to Brodin, 1-1. Oka played 10 seasons in the majors, splitting time between the Boston Red Sox, the Montreal Expos. Knuckleball misses outside, 2-1. He was with the Expos, and then 1 season when the Expos turned into the Washington Nationals in 2005. Then 2 years with the Brewers, 1 with the Blue Jays, and the last time he was in the majors, as Brodin fouls off the knuckleball 2-2, was back in 2009 with the Cleveland Indians. That season, appeared in 18 games with the Indians, made 6 starts, had a 1-5 record with a 5.96 earned run average. But Oka looking to make his return to the majors eventually, and he's starting things off here in the Atlantic League. 2-2 knuckleballs fouled off by Brodin. And the count remains even. Deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs, with 2 runs on the board for the Ducks, and Joash Brodin at the plate wearing number 22. Infield plays back. The outfield plays straight up against Brodin, the switch hitter batting from the left side against the right-handed Oka. The 2-2. Fastball misses inside, and the count runs full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Oka's best season in the majors probably came in 2002 as a member of the Montreal Expos. Went 13-8 that year with a 3.18 earned run average. In 32 appearances, 31 starts. That included 2 complete games. The 3-2 to Brodin, fouled off once again. Joash stays alive. That season, Oka struck out 118 batters compared to just 45 walks and 192 2/3 innings of work. But again, the 3.18 ERA certainly stands out. He enjoyed his best seasons of his career, primarily with the Montreal Expos. 3-2 ripped into right field for a base hit. Second hit of the ball game for Joash Brodin as he continues to try to work himself out of an early season funk. The 2-out base hit for the Ducks, and that'll bring up Adam Bailey. Well, positive signs here for Joash Brodin. As recently as last week, he was in the midst of a pretty deep slump. He went 1 for 15 in 3 games against the Lancaster Barnstormers on Long Island, but he responded with 4 hits in the series against the Barnstormers at Clipper Magazine Stadium this past weekend. He takes off from first as the knuckleball misses high. The throw down to second, the tag, not in time as Juan Martinez drops the ball. It got there pretty much simultaneously with Brodin's feet-first slide, and the ball might have hit Brodin also. Nonetheless, it's a stolen base for Joash. The second stolen base of the ball game for the Ducks, trying to take advantage of the slow pitch with the knuckleball. And for Brodin, it's his first stolen base of the year. As Bailey lines one over to first, it's dropped by Overbeck, but the rebound goes over to Castro, who fires it back to Overbeck in time for the final out of the inning. So the Ducks get a 2-out base hit by Joash Brodin. He steals second base, but stranded there. No runs for Long Island on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on. As we move to the bottom of the 3rd inning here in Bridgeport, it's 4-2 Bluefish on top on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/Ducks Baseball.
Hi, this is pitcher Matt Way, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/Ducks Baseball.
Hi, I'm former Major Leaguer John Franco. Growing up in Brooklyn, I dreamed of playing professional baseball. My dad, a city employee, worked hard so I could live out that dream. The team at MCU is a lot like my dad. They're New Yorkers you can count on, and they'll work hard to help you reach your financial goals.
Municipal Credit Union has a full range of financial services that make sense in today's economy. Join today. Call 1-866-JOIN-MCU or visit nymcu.org.
MCU.
On the mound for the Ducks as we move to the last of the 3rd. First pitch to Sean Burrows is fouled off down the 3rd base line out of play. And the count 0-1. Burrows had an RBI double his first time up, split the gap in right center field. Burrows now with 7 runs batted in so far this season as a member of the Bluefish. Brownell comes high and tight inside with the fastball. Nearly hits Burrows, but he's able to get out of the way. And the count runs even at 1 strikes. The 1-1 lifted left field shallow. Lou Ford making a run towards the foul line, and he's able to make the catch on the warning track of the foul line down the left field line. So one away here in the bottom of the third inning. And that'll bring up Brandon Boggs. Boggs will step in, struck out swinging his first time up, 0 for 1. As Brownell looks to settle down. In each of Brownell's starts this year, he's gone at least 6 innings for Long Island, so he's been able to eat up some innings. But he hasn't been able to record a win yet, as the first pitch to Boggs is a changeup that misses low, 1 no strikes. He allowed just 2 runs to begin the season against the Somerset Patriots on April 25th. His next 2 starts came at home for Long Island, but didn't have a lot of success for the 2013 Championship Series MVP, as Boggs fouls off the fastball 2-1. He allowed 4 runs, all earned on 6 hits in 6 innings against the York Revolution May 2nd. And then in his last start against the Barnstormers, he allowed 5 runs, all earned on 9 hits in 6 innings. Both of those games, Brownell received the loss. He's 0-2 this year. The 2-1 Boggs misses inside. 3 balls and 1 strike now. But Brownell looking to turn things around, and this is certainly a good team for Brownell to go up against when he's trying to turn things around, considering how much success he had against the Bluefish just a season ago. The 3-1 to Boggs. Fastball misses low and outside, ball 4. First walk allowed by John Brownell in tonight's ball game, giving him 5 runs batted in on the season. Still struggling despite being the cleanup batter for the Bluefish. He'll bat from the right side of the plate against the right-handed Brownell. Back to Brownell's numbers against Bridgeport last year, he excelled. He went 3-1 against the Bluefish in 4 starts. As he works from the stretch. First pitch to Redmond in there for a called strike. And the count now moves to no balls and 1 strike. He allowed just 5 earned runs in 29 innings of work against Bluefish. On that July 7th appearance against Bridgeport, Brownell went the distance. It was one of 7 complete games that he tossed last year, one of 2 shutouts. As Redmond lifts one, right center field shallow. In comes Lou Ford. He lines it up, takes a couple of strides in, makes the catch for out number 2. So 2 away and a runner at first base for the Bluefish, and Ramon Castro will be the batter. Castro 0 for 1. He struck out back in the first inning. But in that July 27th effort, it was a complete game shutout for, I shouldn't say shutout, it was a complete game effort for Brownell. He allowed 1 run, but it was unearned. Wasn't charged against him, as the fastball misses upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Allowed just 3 hits, but has already allowed 4 runs through the first 2 innings of this ball game. Castro fouls off the fastball, and the count runs even at 1-1. Granted, 3 of those 4 runs that Brownell has allowed through the first 2 innings are unearned. 2 errors on the board for the Ducks. Both of them came when leading off an inning. In the top of the first, it was a fielding error. Bottom of the first, it was a fielding error by Chris McClendon. Bottom of the second, a fielding error from Cody Puckett. As Brownell throws over to first base, and back in standing safely is Brandon Boggs, who reached first base on a 1-out walk here in the bottom of the third inning. 4-2, the Bluefish on top of the Ducks with 2 outs and a runner at first here in the last of the third inning. Brownell works from the stretch, the 1-1. Fastball in there for a called strike, 1-2. Both times the Ducks committed an error in this ballgame. The very next batter had a run-producing hit for Bridgeport. In the first inning, it was an RBI double by Sean Burrows. In the second, a 2-run home run by Cody Overbeck. Brownell already with 3 strikeouts through the first 2 2/3 innings of tonight's ballgame. Entered tonight with 14 strikeouts and 18 innings of work, compared to just 2 walks. The Boggs walk a couple of batters ago, only the 3rd walk allowed by Brownell so far this season. He'll throw over to first, and Boggs dives back in safely. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs here in the last of the third inning. Bridgeport on top by 2 runs. And Ramon Castro at the plate, who's gotten off to a very strong start with the Bluefish. As Brownell once again will throw over. And once again, it's Boggs that's able to dive back in safely. The 2-2 to Castro. Lays off the slider outside, and the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. That'll give Boggs a head start off of first base. But in that last series against Camden, Castro went 5 for 11 from the plate, with hits in all 3 of the games. Good for a .455 clip entering tonight's ball game. Fastball outside corner, called strike 3. Second time that Castro struck out tonight. 4th strikeout of the ball game for John Brownell. He strands Brandon Boggs at first base. And as we head to the top of the 4th, it's Bridgeport 4 and the Ducks 2 on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
Hi, this is Joash Bodine, first baseman, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Ducks official YouTube channel, youtube.com/DucksBaseball.
North Shore LIJ Southside Hospital in Bayshore is the healthcare heart of our community. We provide outstanding healthcare right here at home with centers of excellence in cardiology, orthopedics, neurosciences, women's health services, and much more. Experience counts, and North Shore LIJ Southside Hospital has been around for nearly a century of care. For more information, please call 631-968-3000 or visit us on the web at www.nslij.com.
Life without Ducks Baseball.
Emily, quit texting. James, get off the iPad. Honey, pick a channel.
Life with Ducks Baseball. Bethpage Ballpark is set. Quackerjack is ready, and the flock is prepared to defend their title. All we need is you. For game times, promos, and tickets, visit liducks.com.
It's a blast. Now that's more like it.
Long Island Ducks Baseball. Life is better here.
Top of the 4th inning from Bridgeport, Connecticut. Mark Schwartz here on the call. Tomooka back out for his 4th inning of work. He's allowed 2 runs so far on 4 hits for the Bluefish. First pitch swinging out in front of a knuckleball in the count 0-1. Puckett had an RBI single his first time up. The third of 3 consecutive base hits off of Tomooka as the knuckleball misses low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, Oka trying to resurrect his career, throwing almost exclusively a knuckleball. He's shown the fastball a little bit in the early goings tonight, as that knuckleball on the outside corner for a strike, 1-2. But it's such a dangerous pitch because the beauty behind it, you just don't know what's going to happen with the knuckleball. You don't know where it's going to go. As Puckett lines one down the left field line, and that's going to drop for a base hit. In front of it is the left fielder Boggs, so Puckett will have to hold at first base. But it's the second base hit of the ball game for a Cody Puckett. And the Ducks, with their 5th hit of the ball game against Tomooka, have a leadoff base runner on for the 2nd time tonight. Puckett now 2 for 2. He entered with a .291 batting average this season, and he's already added a pair of hits here tonight. Starting to swing the bat very well for Long Island. He'll lead off at first base with John Myers at the plate. Takes a first pitch knuckleball at the knees. Called strike.